What is our second main topic today?
Our second main topic comes to us from 2 a.m. is my midnight. Just watched episode 5 of Ms. Marvel, and I gotta say, kind of disappointed. This made me sad because the first 4 were excellent. I think the first 2/3 of the episode were strong. Learning about this part of history is really eye-opening to me. Admittedly, I don't remember learning any of this in school. Anyways, the last act is where the episode lost me. It was just so messy and rushed. Honestly, I'm just confused about what's happening now. Who's the actual bad guy? How in the world are they going to finish this series off with one more episode? Thanks, and BOTF.
All right, thanks a lot for saying that in, man. And yeah, look, okay. I am loving Ms. Marvel. I am loving this show. So episode 5 comes around. Granted, episode 4, I wasn't big on the Red Dagger stuff, but I still like the episode overall a lot. So, and when the way that last episode ended, with her in, I keep forgetting the name of the city, the town she's in.
She's in Karachi, right?
Karachi, right. With her in Karachi, back in time at that train, I thought that was a great way to end. Then I was really looking for where they'd go with this. And we're going to do, once again, we're going to do our open spoiler discussion of Ms. Marvel episode 5 at 3:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time today. So come back for that. But just some general things without dropping many spoilers here. So the fact that the first 2/3 of this episode happen tells the backstory, goes back in time to Kamala's grandparents, great-grandparents, I should say, to their great-grandparents. Of course, her great-grandmother, who is the Jinn, and meeting her great-grandfather, setting great historical context. Like, I'm watching the first 10, 12 minutes of that episode, and I'm like, this is what's making Marvel kind of special. There is nothing superhero-ish about this episode so far, and this is wonderful. Like, I was eating it up, the whole backstory. This strange woman appears in the village, the romance that develops between them. Like, when she says, I'll break your leg. He's like, what, this leg? I mean, I was eating that up and loving it. And then getting that backstory, layering foundation to deepen our understanding about Kamala and what her circumstances are right now. And then the big twist that they had in there, which we will discuss this 3:30, but the big twist that they had in there, that was all great. But here's where the problem comes in. We are confronted again with the fundamental disservice that the 6-episode seasons deliver. Because when this episode ended, I'm like, this is a great midway point of the season.
Mm-hmm.
And this is not the first time that we have felt like this in a Disney Plus show. That episode ended last night. I'm like, yeah, this feels like the mid-season break. We're halfway through the story now. This is great. But oh wait, like so many other of the Disney Plus series before, there's only 1 episode left. How the actual hell do you take all this stuff that you've done and wrap it up in one, what will probably be 39-minute episode? Because last night, taking away the previously on and the credits, that's a 35-minute episode last night. Yeah. Second last episode. And so what we now feel like we have in a lot of other Disney Plus shows, it's like starting strong. This is great. And then all of a sudden you feel the showrunners put their foot to the floor and go, okay, now we got to go. We got to go. We got 47 minutes of storytelling left. Go, 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 go. And all of a sudden, the Jinn aren't there anymore. All of a sudden. And I don't know if, all right, I'll say this, but without saying you won't know the context. Was that Terra Genesis? I have no idea if that was Terra Genesis going on. Anyway, so all of a sudden, they're gone and blah, blah, blah. And now we're heading into this. Oh, and now this guy does this. Oh, and now this is happening here. And all this happening within the time frame of about 3 minutes. And then the 3 minutes ends, and it feels like the power went out somewhere. It's like, wait, like the episode just suddenly stops. And you realize there's 1 episode left. And this, again, is a testimony to the failed legacy of Bob Chapek and his business cronies who are now in charge of making these decisions instead of the creators, who under Bob Iger used to make these decisions. It used to be the creators that would decide how many episodes, how long we do, how deep do we go, blah. That all used to be Kevin Feige got to make those decisions.
Can I
He doesn't
real
anymore,
quick?
yes.
Amy, are you okay? That happens sometimes. Like this rumble.
What?
No, the John. I thought you looked like you were like.
Oh, I was just enjoying. I was enjoying the Chapek hate. I was just taking it all
but
in.
that's the thing. This is again what happens when you get suits making these decisions, because again, now we had the setup, and that's what we've had from episode 1 through 5. This great beginning establishment, whatever. It's like, oh yeah, we haven't even seen Nakia again. I love that character.
She's great.
Bruno finally came back. Love him. I haven't seen the dad in 2 episodes. And that normally would be fine if we had 10 episodes or if we had 12 episodes. But once again, we are going to be served a dish that is short on everything. And we're going to go, there were a couple things that are good about that, but the meal's over and I'm still starving. Not wanting more, dissatisfied. I don't want to hear this. No, they're leaving the audience wanting more. No, they're leaving the audience dissatisfied. And this show has been great so far. And I already know what's going to happen with the finale. It's going to be super rushed. It's going to be awkward. It's going to feel disjointed. And then it's going to feel like it came to an end all of a sudden. Because they've only got 30-something minutes of storytelling left. And therein lies the problem. So again, I thought the episode was good. If it was episode 5 of a 12-episode season. But the fundamental flaws of this ass-backward, idiotic 6-episode stretch just doesn't work. And because here's the problem. Some people can point to me and say, well, John, a lot of shows in the UK will have these shorter episodes. Yes, but they structure them as such. When you watch episode 2 of a 4-episode season, you feel like you're halfway through the story by the end of episode 2. And they just are not handling this well. And I fear that this is going to ruin what has been a fantastic show for me so far. We want to take a moment and thank the sponsor of today's video, Storyblocks. Guys, I have been an enthusiastic fan and user of Storyblocks for years. I go to them whenever I'm in need of content creation assets like royalty-free music, video clips, or templates for my creative projects, ranging anywhere from little editorial videos to my very own full-feature documentary. Storyblocks helps you bring your stories, videos, and projects to life without sacrifices due to time, budget, or access to resources. They have over 1 million different story assets ranging from stock videos, audio and music, an in-browser video editor, and they feature pre-designed templates, animations, and outros. Storyblocks uses an affordable subscription model, and their unlimited access plans offers, well, unlimited video and audio downloads rather than a costly pay-per-clip model. With Storyblocks, you'll be able to create more content and, more importantly, better content, all while using a subscription plan that fits your budget, utilizing unlimited downloads of demand-driven and diverse content. So if you're interested in upping your content creation game, head over to www.storyblocks.com/Campea and get started today. That's www.storyblocks.com/Campea. Anyway, Rob, you had a chance to watch Ms. Marvel episode 5. Generally speaking, what did you think of it?
I really love this episode, but I feel exactly the same way you did. To me, this episode is the turn going into Act 3, which should be a 3-episode act.
Right.
This should have been a 9-episode series. I mean, this is a coming-of-age story, and it's a coming-of-age story of a girl who's coming to grips with her immigrant family, their identity, her identity, and what was really interesting is her delving into the past that she didn't really understand. She could understand being an immigrant, the children of immigrants and all of that, but what she got to see and experience because she has these powers is something that most kids don't, where she gets to understand an earlier generation and what they've gone through. And, being raised a Jew like myself, you get to hear a lot about that ancestry thing happening. But this was from a culture we don't normally see here in the United States. So her education essentially is now over. So now what's she going to do with it? What person is she going to become? Now that she not only has the power, but she now has a true understanding of her family. She probably now has a better relationship with her mother.
She knows where she came from.
Understands a lot of her own history. So then, armed with this new understanding of herself and her family and her legacy, she moves forward to be the person she's going to be. But I don't know what's going to happen. Like, who does she have to confront now? Like, what's going to happen? Like, where are we going with this? And wherever we're going with it, like you said, is going to happen in 38 minutes. And I'm like, to me, this has been such a fulfilling story. And I never thought that I would be as caught up in her journey as I have been, because I think the show's really good. You know, with all the and I was a part of the fanboy bitching and moaning and complaining before I went into the show. You watch the show, it is wonderfully made. The acting is wonderful. The design of the show is great. She is a star.
Yeah.
But now I'm like, wow, this is an amazing setup. You've done a terrific job up to this point. And now, John, I mean, if Thanos came back and she had to fight him, I still would feel unsatisfied because I want more, you know?
Anyway, Amy, you had a chance to check out the episode. How did you feel about it?
I absolutely agree that it's just too short. And I like so much of what they did here, but I was really frustrated because it's like they established so much in those first couple episodes. Like those first three, like the world, the family, the friends, even like, I'm like, what happened to the girl who wants to be like an influencer? And what happened to the cute stuff with the text messaging? And I don't even feel like we really got to see her really learn and get comfortable with her powers. And for me, I wanted 2 more episodes of that. I wanted to see enough of that this felt like an interesting little palate cleanser of like, oh, we're doing something totally different now. We're in a different country. We're doing this flashback. And it feels justified because I don't want to get sick of it, but I feel satisfied that we've set all this up and I got to live in that long enough.
Right.
Literally, when this episode started, I was like, are we going to get Kamala Khan back? Because we have 1 more episode and she's so good. Yeah. And not that everyone in this episode wasn't phenomenal, not that it wasn't beautiful, but my gut instinct was just, I don't want to lose her for a whole episode and then wrap it up. So to me, it didn't even feel like a midway point. It felt like it should have been 2/3 of the way through, but that 2/3 of the way through needed to be about 3 episodes longer.
Yeah, and like to what you guys are saying, again, we get to the end of this, we set up the establishment of her family, she starts to acquire her power, she starts now understand her background and her character, and it feels like now we're ready to launch.
Yep.
Yes, exactly.
Yep.
Except we only got 1 episode left. Like now is when she should be coming back to the States. Now armed with an understanding of where she came from, where these powers come from. Now get together with Bruno, work more on developing that, start fleshing out whoever your ultimate villain's going to be, blah, blah, and work towards your crescendo. Instead, now they got to rush towards some arbitrary finish line. This thing would have worked so much better as a movie. Like as a 2-hour and 15-minute movie, and you structured it right, this would have flowed so much more satisfactorily. Instead, they try to do it as a 6-episode thing, and it just feels so. And again, I liked the episode. I did.
Yeah.
It's just frustrating seeing where they're at now. Anyway, guys, once again, don't forget, if you've had a chance to see the episode, we will be doing an open spoiler discussion at 3:30 this afternoon. Make sure you guys come back and join us for that. But for now, did you see the episode? If so, what were your general thoughts? Jump on down to the comments section below and leave your thoughts there.